Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. So I'm back from my small Christmas break, and it will be business as usual. So today's replay is from DexFreak, and he is in the Missouri, the Tier 9 US premium battleship. He is on the map Shatter in a 3-point domination game. It's a Tier 9 battle, so that's awesome. There are 2 destroyers per team, there is 1 carrier, but the carrier is only Tier 7, and the Missouri has some very good anti-air. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now we have 1 friendly destroyer here at Point Charlie. There is also a discussion here going on in the chat about who is going to use radar first. Now we have here 2 Missouris, and New Orleans and an Atlanta on this side. So 4 ships with radar, which means the enemy team might just run into some trouble. And on the other hand, this island here is, well, some pretty big cover, and I'm not sure what this shift wing wants from me, but you know, anyway. So only overpens, but still some damage on the Edinburgh. And it looks like another one got off a lucky salvo. So the enemy team has deployed smoke, but with so much radar here, this won't be that much use. But still, the enemies can just sit on the other side of this island. That will force the friendly team to push through and, well, push through in order to get shots at them and sink them or make them retreat. Now we have a friendly Sims taking the center and no opposition for him. So I guess the friendly team is abandoning A. They have quite a few ships there, but without a destroyer going in there well, isn't that much those ships can do. They have radar on the left side as well in form of 1 New Orleans. So I guess maybe they could do something against the Fletcher. But we shall see. All you need is 2 capture points basically, and then you can go and defend. But since the friendly team has so much ships at point A, it's possible that they'll try something aggressive over there. And well, looks like the Edinburgh was not so lucky this time. I'm not sure why he's showing that much broadside, but then again, maybe he is hoping his smoke will protect him. But really, 4 radars here, there is basically no way that a radar isn't ready. So bad luck for the Edinburgh, I suppose. Now it looks like that the enemy team has actually retreated from this point, and those ships here, the Atlanta, Minsk and Colorado, should probably already be running away and should reinforce the other side. I'm not sure if they can do an awful lot here. And yes, we can hear the Christmas horn here. Now that Colorado is also showing quite a bit of broadside, but I think he managed to get behind an island. So good for him. Now friendly team still has a large force here on the left side, and they are probably just occupying the enemy team, which is good as long as the enemy team doesn't mount an offensive. The friendly team doesn't have to react. The center point is pretty hard to take anyway without destroyers. And I guess we don't know what a Fletcher is. It's possible that the Fletcher is sneaking in the middle. There is a Scharnhorst who is way too aggressive. The friendly Sims as well. I'm not sure what he is doing over there. But overall, it's looking pretty decent for the friendlies. There is an Atlanta who is showing broadside for some reason. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Atlanta is sinking soon. Well, there is basically just reversing out of an island, and showing a broadside is a very bad thing to do. We are with ships here, not like cars or something. You can't just immediately accelerate and get back into cover. And you're just so vulnerable when they see your broadside. So, well, Atlanta is still here. The Minsk, I don't know what the Minsk's plan is. I guess as a Russian destroyer he doesn't have the best concealment, but still would be better off doing something like trying to take the center. Now 1 friendly destroyer, he overextended and got sunk, so did the Scharnhorst, which leaves the friendly team a nice opportunity. Currently the center is undefended, so they need either the Fletcher or the Minsk to just go into B and cap it. Of course, maybe those ships are afraid to be overly aggressive because of the radar, and then there is the carrier who can spot. But, well, the friendlies don't have anything near there. And look at that, once more an Atlanta showing broadside, and he got lucky, I suppose. But that won't last for long. Oh, there is also the Minsk. Atlanta does have torpedoes, but very short range, so if that Atlanta is trying a torpedo ambush, it will probably fail hard. And with the New Orleans coming around the other side, this Atlanta is pretty much doomed. Now the priority is sinking the Minsk, that will take out one enemy destroyer and, well, give the friendly team an even bigger lead. Now that Minsk is trying to get away, and, well, Russian destroyers are fast, so yes, he might have a chance to just escape and dodge shells, but then again there are like 5 ships shooting him. But the friendly Fletcher does take a beating, and there are even bombers coming for the Fletcher. Now that Minsk is getting so far away that as a battleship the chance of hitting her are rather low, and unfortunately the destroyer got taken out, so the friendly team is without destroyers. Now DexFreak here is moving towards the center. The enemy team has finally started to capture it. His radar is running in order to make sure that his Fletcher gets spotted, and, well, those shells missed, but hopefully somebody else in the team can help out. There is also, but there are still 3 other radar ships coming in here, so that Fletcher should have no way to escape. Unfortunate. Oh, there is the reset, so they didn't manage to cap just yet, and I think this Atlanta should be having shots at him pretty soon. There are some planes incoming, but the Missouri is just very good at shooting down planes, especially if they are only tier 7. So I wouldn't be too afraid about that. Now the Fletcher got taken out, and no surprise there, the carrier even helped out, and with this much radar here the Fletcher didn't stand a chance. He shouldn't have pushed in that hard. If he had stayed on the other side of the E point, he could have just hit behind an island, and he could have taken that without any danger. Well, I suppose maybe those ships in the north would have a line of fire, but he'd probably have been out of radar range. More torpedo bombers incoming, and an enemy Missouri charging in here. Now he's probably focusing down those planes. Keep in mind that in a replay you cannot see if somebody is focusing down planes. And even the friendly carrier is here, so the enemy planes got pretty much devastated. Still, he got off 1 torpedo. Nothing too bad. Now, Missouri versus Missouri. The enemy Missouri is decently angled, but there is quite a bit of support here from the friendly team, while the enemy is, well, they have a Minsk, but that's about it. That Minsk should be on pretty low hit points, and maybe one of the cruisers can just take care of her. Meanwhile, DexFreak is focusing on that Missouri, and there is an Atago here to back up the Missouri. The Atago is showing full broadside. Now he has a decision to make. He can either try to shoot the Missouri or the Atago. He's going for the Atago, and, well, the Atago is just showing so much broadside. Now, of course, deleting this Atago is very tempting. Helping out on the Missouri could have helped also a lot. If it held his fire until now, he might have been able to get the Missouri. He is trying to angle to make sure here that he isn't showing a full flush broadside. And, well, that worked out somewhat. Now keep in mind that there are still ships behind here who should be able to clean up the Missouri. There is a friendly Missouri who should now have nice broadside shots. So he is going for the Atago instead. The Atago is well, that worked. So I guess it was a bit of a gamble. If you see cruiser showing full broadside, you have the possibility to completely devastate them. But if you only get overpens, then it wouldn't have been so nice. Now also, he had 3 fires and a flooding going on. So it was time to repair it. He still has 2 heals left. The Missouri is still floating for some reason. I have a feeling that those support ships aren't really supporting him. This island might be one of those reasons, but it shows ignoring the Missouri for so long. Not sure if it was the best choice, but it worked out pretty well considering how he devastated the Atago. Also, overall, this game is already won. The enemy team has so few ships left, I don't see them doing anything, and even points-wise there is... I guess they'd need a pretty epic miracle to make something happen here. More planes incoming, he is set on fire twice, he still has his heal going a bit. Damage control not quite ready. But yeah, at this point... nothing really matters. Let's see, he can get off one more salvo at the Iowa before this game ends, I suppose. And he sinks the Iowa. Now let's take a look at the results. DexFreak managed to get 2,703 base experience. Nicely done by him. He just went close to the caps, he made use of his radar, and the enemy team got pretty much obliterated. DexFreak earned himself Fireproof, Confederate, Dreadnought, Devastating Strike and High Caliber. He scored 170,000 points of damage. Very nicely done by him. It was an enjoyable match, and since it's Missouri, he got showered in credits. So, glad to be back. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.